On the news tonight, Niger junta threatens to kill ousted President Bazoum if a planned military intervention. Trouble in Edo State as Governor Obaseki alleges coup against him by deputy. And Navy to adopt artificial intelligence AI for operational efficiency. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Mary Kanu. We begin the news with the latest development from Niger. The safety of ousted Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum may not be guaranteed as the junta which overthrew his government have reportedly threatened to kill him should the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS attempt any military intervention to restore democracy in the Francophone country. The junta allegedly revealed a plot to murder the deposed president to a top United States diplomat. The threat is coming on the heels of the resolution of the ECOWAS to deploy troops in Niger following the refusal of the military leaders to restore democracy despite the sanctions imposed on them and their collaborators by the regional body. Meanwhile, the ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Ambassador Abdel Fattah Musa, says Bazoum and his son, being held by the country's school leaders, are living under appalling circumstances. And there is the need for the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to reconsider the use of force in Niger. These are the words of retired Group Captain Sadiq Shehu, a security consultant who spoke on TV360's flagship program, DG360, on the impending face-off between the military junta in Niger and the ECOWAS regional bloc. Shehu says in the event of the use of force in Niger, which has the backing of other countries like Burkina Faso and Mali, Africa as a continent would suffer the consequences of such a decision.
If ECOWAS is able to raise that force alone, certainly I think with the international sanctions, with the international support, a force that is assembled by ECOWAS will be able to subdue the coup plotters. However, in military science, there's what we call war by preconception. What I mean, it is not sometimes war, there are many other variables. It's not even the number or the equipment that decides. We can see this practically from the current Ukraine and Russian war. Nobody thought that any fight between Ukraine and Russia will last more than 1 week. You are thinking it's just a slam dunk. It's like in football, a first division team and a second division team. But unfortunately in war, it is not like that. So when you join battle, there are other aspects apart from pure number and equipment. There's also the morale. There's also the morale. If the morale of one side is higher, if there's disbelief and fighting for something worthwhile, such a fighter is likely to, to give more problem than somebody who does not have something at stake. So in terms of numbers, physically, if you say numbers, yes, we could say if ECOWAS is able to raise all the numbers and all the countries contribute, certainly in the long run they'll be able to overcome. But nobody can say it is not easily a slam dunk, as we are seeing. That is why some of us still think that the option of negotiations is better. Once you join battle, you never know when it is going to end.
In a similar development, the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has alleged that Philip Schreiber, his deputy, has hatched a plan to kick him out of office. Addressing stakeholders in a video posted on Friday, Obaseki said Schreiber has become so desperate to succeed him ahead of the Edo governorship election in 2024. This development comes less than a month after Schreiber had dragged Obaseki to a federal high court in Abuja over plans to impeach him and accused the governor of preventing him from performing his constitutional duties.
I am the chief security officer of the state. I get any information I need. But I have that responsibility to keep quiet and use the information properly. My deputy called a leader in APC, telling that leader that during the elections the next day of the leadership, particular speaker of the House of Assembly, that he has 5 members who are loyal to him and that he would like the 7 members of APC to work with the 5 members of PDP to produce a speaker. to say the deputy governor had become so desperate to take over that he would do anything, including carrying out a coup against his governor. He traveled. He didn't even tell me he's traveling. And the next thing I knew is that they are serving us summons that he has gone to court, that there's a plan to impeach him. Say, impeach you? What have you done? If you want to run for the office of governor, there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's your constitutional right to run for the office if you want to. However, you are in the same cabinet with me. Please, there is a way you do something. Even if you are trying to show respect to the people.
To other matters, now the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, has stressed the need to leverage on artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies to enhance the maintenance of Nigerian Navy platforms and other operational activities. The CNS said this during the presentation of a paper by Navy participants of National Defense College NDC Course 31 titled Artificial Intelligence and Ship Maintenance Strategic Options for the Nigerian Navy by 2035. Ogala said the use of AI is significantly transforming the maritime industry, and the Navy is embracing it to improve the availability of ships towards enhancing operational effectiveness. And with the resumption of the 2023 and 2024 academic session in Nigeria for tertiary institutions comes palpable uneasiness among parents and guardians over the recent hike in tuition fees. The removal of fuel subsidies has led to this unavoidable fee hike in federal and state universities. Students and parents now have to pay more for education. In this next report, our correspondent Senior Carfor tells us how badly the hike in tuition fees have added to the hardship faced by Nigerian parents and guardians.
These are hard times for average families whose wards attend tertiary institution in Nigeria. An outcome of the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu is the increment in fees ranging from 100 to 200% or more in some instances by federal and state universities, who have cited the current economic reality in the country as the major reason for the increase. Henrietta Madukwe, a parent and a petty trader who has 2 children in higher institution, sells food condiments by the roadside in Ojota area of Lagos to support her family. For Madukwe, this increase was done without any consideration for masses and expressed worry over the catastrophic escalation.
We are struggling to pay for the 2. Talk less of now that they have increased it. It is too much. So are we now going to pay only the school fees? We will also pay the handout, buy handout for them, then textbooks also. If the precisely if the tuition fee is increased, likely the handout and textbook must increase also. So what am I saying now? The government should consider the poor masses.
I expect that government would increase our salaries very shortly. If not, there's no how myself and my husband's income can take care of 3 undergraduates. We were paying 20,000 naira school fees. Now it is over 100,000 naira.
Bamidele Adetiloye, a student and an orphan, gained admission into the University of Lagos in 2019 and has been juggling working and schooling as an independent student to survive. Adetiloye says the increase in the tuition fee may affect his academic aspirations.
The last session I paid, it was around 19 or let me say 20 in total of all I paid for the year 2 session. So presently now, going to the portal, I think the total of what I'm about to pay is 121,250. So mathematically, that is more than, let me say, 500 or 700%. So it's clearing that it's a big hike in price. As an independent student, I just believe it's too late for me to drop out. So I just have to just put myself together, work more to get money, and pay my school fees.
With calls from citizens for the government to look into the fees hike, the federal government approved the Access to Higher Education Act 2023, also known as the Student Loan Act, which according to Sheye Ajuwon, a lecturer at the University of Lagos, will do little or nothing to aid low-income earners.
Well, I can tell you the effect will be minor. Minor in the sense that maybe it might be less than 10%. I can assure you it's going to be less than 10% in reality. Currently, the way it was, some people could not even afford the 15,000 naira. So now if you are now talking about over 100,000 naira, and you know, everybody is seriously pressed. So it makes it now more difficult for those people. But this is where now the all other bodies, NGO, you know, philanthropies and all those things need to come in. The government have set up student loan, but in reality, I don't see the practicability of that student loan.
Nigeria has a student enrollment size of 1.8 million in its federal, state and private tertiary institutions. However, a large chunk of these students are in the nation's federal universities. These institutions are known to be very affordable, but due to the hike in tuition fee, it will affect their academic pursuits. Sydney Okafor, TV360 News, Lagos.
The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Taoreed Lagbaja, has promised that insecurity, including kidnappings, banditry, and other criminal activities currently ravaging the southeast region, especially in the Isi-Kwato and Umunochi local government areas of Abia State, will soon end. Major General Lagbaja made the charge through the Deputy Director of Operations, Army Headquarters, Brigadier General Gabriel Esher, while appearing before the House Ad Hoc Committee set up to investigate the ongoing killings and kidnappings in the Umunochi community, assuring that all security agencies are working round the clock to address the insecurity in the region.
It is pertinent to state that incidents of kidnapping in the southeast region witnessed a surge, particularly in the second quarter of this year. Recently, efforts of the Nigerian Army through 82 Division, in conjunction with other security agencies, has diminished the threat of kidnapping considerably. However, the threat of kidnapping remains a potent security threat, especially in these two local government areas, particularly in the month of July this year alone, recorded some cases of kidnappings and an attack by criminals suspected to be elements of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra Eastern Security Network in these two local governments. Suffice to mention that the Nigerian Police and other security agencies are also collaborating with us, but due to certain inherent challenges, the bulk usually lies with the Nigerian Army.
The intricate landscape demands a comprehensive and collaborative approach to address the multifaceted security challenges. The effort has to accommodate the concept of back-channel negotiations, which has emerged as a potential avenue for conflict resolution. Back-channel negotiations characterized by discrete and indiscrete dialogues hold the promise of fostering understanding and common ground among various stakeholders. Such negotiations, if properly managed, can help bridge gaps, reduce tensions, and build trust between different factions, including the armed organizations and security agencies, by providing a less confrontational platform for communication, possibly be the better alternative way to explore alternative pathways towards stability, security, and cooperation. It is essential, however, that any back-channel effort are transparent, impartial, and in line with the rule of law to ensure lasting peace and security for the entire region.
And barely 4 months into the administration of President Bola Tinubu, a group under the auspices of the Progressive Young Leaders Assembly has protested what it described as loop-sided appointments into political offices at the federal level. The group under the chairmanship of Abubakar Kurawa said it had been watching closely developments that came with the post-elections reward system of the All Progressives Congress, hence the need to address the avoidable gaps and flaws that punctuated the process of appointments, especially at ministerial and other federal government levels. Kurawa called on President Tinubu to include some of the party loyalists who have contributed positively to the victory of his 2023 presidential elections.
If we say, okay, we are giving people ministers based on their capacity as technocrat or whatever, for God's sake, I believe every Nigerian believes that Mr. Kayode Fayemi is also a technocrat. Professor Ben Aide is also a technocrat. In fact, so many of them are not only politicians, they are equally technocrats. So we are not jumping the gun. We are simply sending a reminder, sir. We are waiting for the government to respond to our agitation. If there is no response, then more and more of this will be done, and in a bigger way. You know, in a system that somebody come and put in a lot, just consider yourself as a journalist. You put so much for your company, and the company doesn't appreciate you. The company doesn't reward you. What is the likely consequences of what you are going to do? It's the same thing everywhere. Politics is not different from any other sector. So if you perform wonderfully well, it is generally expected for you to be rewarded. If not, certainly there are going to be implications. And time will tell what are the implications that will follow.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. Central Bank of Nigeria releases financial statements of last 7 years amid investigations. We'll bring you more of this story and others when we return. Join us again. Thank you for staying. A recap now of our top stories. The safety of ousted Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum may not be guaranteed as the junta which overthrew his government have reportedly threatened to kill him should the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS attempt any military intervention to restore democracy in the Francophone country. The threat is coming on the heels of the resolution of the ECOWAS to deport troops in Niger following the refusal of the military leaders to restore democracy despite the sanctions imposed on them and their collaborators by the regional body. We also told you that the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has alleged that his deputy, Philip Shuaibu, has hatched a plan to kick him out of office. Addressing stakeholders in a video posted on Friday, Obaseki said Shuaibu has become so desperate to succeed him ahead of the Edo governorship election in 2024. Well, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on IMEX TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Welcome back. Simisola Adigun now joins us for the latest business updates. Simisola, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mary. Welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has released its audited financial statement for 2016 to 2022 amid an ongoing investigation of its operations. The Apex Bank said the financial statements of the last 7 years posted on its website had been approved by its board in accordance with the provisions of the CBN Act of 2007. In the statements, the CBN also declared a profit after tax of 103.8 billion naira in 2022, up from 75.13 billion naira reported a year earlier. On July 28, President Bola Tinubu had appointed Jim Obazi as a special investigator to probe the activities of the CBN and in other related entities in furtherance of his administration's anti-corruption fight. The federal government has been advised to invest massively in science and technology innovation for qualitative healthcare delivery in Nigeria. The former secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, who made the appeal in Abuja, said Nigeria's healthcare service will be driven by science, technology, and innovation. He added that the situation of things across the world now provides a challenge to the nation's health sector. Hence, there's an urgent need to re-engineer the health sector.
I was a co-conspirator with the president to have him move to science, technology, and innovation. Was informed by the fact that we believe that the future of the practice of health was going to be informed substantially by our investment in the area of science, technology, and innovation. Because that is what is going to drive our health infrastructure going forward. We cannot remain at the rudimentary level that we are and expect any meaningful progress and development in our health infrastructure. So I plead with the public health community to pardon us for having moved in, because when we moved in, there was a little bit of ground shaking in the Ministry of Health.
You know, all over the world, tobacco manufacturers or tobacco industry, they have a very, very powerful lobby group. So there was an attempt to scuttle that bill. So it was a strong battle, but by the grace of God, we succeeded in pushing it through, and it was passed by the Senate, and we had concurrence from the House of Representatives.
Let's take a short break here, but we'll be back with stock market reports. Stay with us. Nigeria's equities end the trading week with a bullish run. The market rose further on Friday by 0.18%. In the aggregate, 118 NGX listed equities participated in trading, ending with 28 gainers and 25 losers. Sky Shelter Fund led the gainers with 9.96% share price appreciation, followed by Computer Warehouse Group. Now, compared with the previous trading day, Friday's data shows a 36% improvement in volume, 46% improvement in turnover, and 5% improvement in deals. Let's now switch to our select foreign stocks. It's mixed trading for the FTSE, Dow Jones, and Nikkei on Friday. The U.S. Dow Jones edged up after some good news on consumer expectations for inflation, which can influence prices. The UK's FTSE, however, recorded bearish earnings amid concerns that the Bank of England will be forced to raise interest rates higher, while Japan's Nikkei extended losses for a second consecutive day amid banking woes. That's it on Stock Market Report. Back to you, Mary.
Many thanks, Famsala, for the update. Now on the global scene, a terrifying wildfire that left a historic Hawaiian town in Chad ruins has killed at least 55 people, making it one of the deadliest disasters in the U.S. state's history. Brush fires on the west coast of Hawaii's Maui Island, fueled by high winds from a nearby hurricane, broke out on Tuesday and rapidly engulfed the seaside town of Lahaina. The fires follow other extreme weather events in North America this summer, with record-breaking wildfires still burning across Canada and a major heat wave baking the U.S. Southwest. Europe and parts of Asia have also endured soaring temperatures, with major fires and floods wreaking havoc. In sports, Sweden held off a late Japan fight back to reach the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup for the fifth time with a 2-1 win at Eden Park. The exit of the 2011 champions Japan following the United States, Germany and Norway means there are no former winners left, and a brand new name will appear on the trophy after next weekend's final in Sydney. Despite the late rally, Sweden held on to a famous victory and will face Spain in the semi-finals on Tuesday. That's the size of a news bulletin. Thank you for watching. I am Mary Kanu.